So we're classic millennials. We met on Facebook.
Really?
Back in like the olden days of Facebook, when it was like you actually knew the people that you were friends with. You know?
Hilarious. Where you just weren't adding to add?
Yeah, but we did somehow.
Yeah.
He added me because the
We
story
had some mutual
goes-
friends, and
Yeah.
you know how like it said, "Oh, you have mutual friends," and you know, that's how.
I went to
it happened.
college with some of the people he went to high school with.
Okay.
And so I assumed that we must have had a class together or something like that. And he assumed that I was a really good person because of the people that I was friends with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny because like it's like I didn't really like using the internet to meet people either, and like because I don't have any, I'm not on the date, I've never done dating apps or anything like that. But same thing, I met my fiance by accident on the internet.
Okay.
Through
Oh, wow.
because another comic was like. Her dad's favorite comedian is one of my friends, Ernst. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so they went to go see Ernst, but she followed him, and he goes, "Hey, is this girl hot?" But her shit was I typed in the name. I go, "What's the name?" So I look on Instagram, and her thing was private. So back at some point before an update somehow, you were able to like zoom in on the picture, like the profile picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But for some reason now this didn't work anymore, and I accidentally pressed follow. And now I'm like, fuck, I can't unfollow because I'll look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just leave it like that. Then I go and hang out with Ernst at the show just to hang out because he was back in Sacramento. And she seen me, and she was like, "Oh," and she was like, "Hey, I seen you at the show. You're a comedian." Da 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 da. I was gonna ask to take a picture, but da da da. And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." And I was like, "No, I didn't perform that night, and I was just hanging out." And then so we kind of corresponded back and forth, and it was just strictly platonic. It was super friendly. It wasn't
Yeah.
like. And so she asked me, "Do you play video games?" And I go, "I used to, but I don't play anymore." She was like, "Do you play Call of Duty?" And I go, "I used to do a lot of blowback in the day, so I can't play anymore because it fucks my head up because that's all the night and just playing." And so. So I started playing with her more often and playing with her community because apparently she played with people. And
Oh,
I was
so
like,
she's a gamer.
she's a gamer, yeah.
Wow.
But she just, and then she only had Instagram. She wasn't like a Twitch star, but she just like had this community of people that she played with. And I never played with a bunch of people. I just
Okay.
usually played with myself. And it was funny because now I started doing shows on the road, and people that I gamed with started bringing their friends out to the shows. Like I'd meet all these people from Arizona that I played with. It's like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Wow, that's cool.
And then like later on, we played for like a year and a half together, platonic, strictly platonic. And then I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm moving, I'm taking off. And she was like, oh, I got to come see you do stand up. And I was like, oh yeah, da da da. And she's like, yeah, now that I'm, divorced. And I was like, divorced? You're married? And she was like, yeah, I was married for like, she's like, I've been divorced for like 6 months. And I was like, and you're just telling me now? And she was like, yeah. She's like, well, I had to get over and do my thing and da 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 da. And I was like, interesting. I go, oh, okay. So, and that's how we met and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah,
pretty.
the relationship was probably done. I'm assuming, like when she met you.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it's naturally, you know.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, naturally, you know what I mean? Because that's not that much time. So
Yeah, and so it was kind of like, but it was like we were just chilling and stuff like that, and now it's like it's perfect, and it's been chill. We've been together for almost like 3 years now, and it's been good. It's been good, and
great.
yeah, and then and I was gonna ask too, because like cause since how long you guys been together? Because how long? You said when Facebook first started.
something like that. I mean, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually just celebrated our 13th anniversary last week.
Congratulations.
Or the week before. Yeah, when we were at South by.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. How was that? How was South by Southwest?
It's always a good time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's tiring, you know. There's a lot of activities and a lot of activations and comedy shows and all the fixings, but
Yeah.
it's a good time.
completely overwhelming.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've ever been, but like at any given hour of the day on the official schedule, there's like a 50 to 150 things you could be choosing to do at that time.
Really.
Yeah. So it's like you really have to choose carefully, like what are your priorities and what do you want to do and what kind of experience do you want to have. So we typically do like a very like businessy type, you know, where we see it as an opportunity to learn and network.
Yeah.
But also it's exhausting. So you also like, I would say we probably dipped out on half of the things we thought we were going to do, you know? So
The itinerary didn't hit. You could hit everything and shit.
I mean, every single day, my watch said I had at least 13 to 15,000 steps, like
Jesus.
every single day.
It's a lot, and you're doing a lot of walking and rushing to this place, to that place, to this, conference. I mean, it's absolutely tiring, but it's definitely worth it. And the comedy shows that we went to were great, and Always a good time.
And there's music as well, right? There's music, comedy, and like film too.
Everything, really.
Every art.
Every art you can think of, probably. You know, I mean, yeah.
There's like 10 different tracks. There's like a cannabis track, a startups track, an innovation track, a comedy track, a music track, a film track, like literally. And those are all like their own conference, essentially, their own festival. And again, they run either simultaneously or at different points in like the 10 days. So like comedy runs for 5 days, right? Certain things like music and film, they run the full 10 days. So it's just, it's a lot.
And then there's a lot of shows that are like non-affiliated with South by too, which is kind of cool. So so you have like the official events, and then you have
offshoots.
The offshoots, and the offshoots are, I would, just as good as the
Yeah. The and you guys are there the whole 10 days?
No.
No, we have a son, so
Yeah.
he has school, so he actually fell on his spring break this year, so it was really fortunate. So we were there for about a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember going to Comic-Con. It's funny because you say you go for the networking things too and stuff like that. And it's like, as you get older, you get so like there's like things like, you know what, I'm going to utilize this time to my best I can. Because like even when I went to Comic-Con and, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go, usually I was like, I'm going to go see the panel of like, the actors in this show and da-da-da-da. But I got there and I was like, oh, shit, there's a workshop about, industry and writing workshop or, stuff like that. And I was like, so I actually was like, filling out my thing that I was, because the same thing, like itinerary, that I wanted to get into, and I was like, it looked like a school schedule, like for a while.
No, you like it legitimately. Like a week before, I have to like sit down. Well, there's also things too where there's certain things like workshops, and then they have these things called mentor sessions. Those things you actually have to RSVP for, but they're super competitive, and so like you have to like a month before and then like 2 weeks before you have to like be online at the right time to be able to like request those things, and then honestly, then they do a thing where you can download like a calendar of all your events. So then I like plug it into the calendar and have to see where the overlap, like literally it's like a whole, like when you say it's a school schedule, it is legitimately like a school schedule.
You're running back and forth too. You're like, and then I was looking, I was like, I got to run from here to over here to get to where I want. Cause then I also maybe have to get in line because apparently everybody wants to be at this thing too as well. But yeah, that was a lot. And then
it's fun.
Who was, I met Charlie Soto.
Right. Oh, Sotelo.
Yeah, Sotelo. I'm sorry, Sotelo. Yeah. He was awesome. He's the one that like scouts for comics, right?
He books. He's the programs the shows and stuff. And, and does a great job curating
of South by.
Yeah, he's great. Charlie's
he's
great.
Very good.
And he loves sports too, so that was even better too. So that's all we were talking about, tons of sports, and he's into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's like the perfect person to book comedy because he's totally geeky. Like he's into sports, he's into video games, so like he connects with the comics on all the levels.
All levels. Gambling.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what I really like about him too is that he actually really cares about comedians, like more than most people in the industry that I've met. Other than we've actually been fortunate because we've met people like Hillary with Big Pine and Jenny with Laughs Unlimited. So like our initial foray into comedy was very much like in touch with people that care, and that's what I like about Charlie too.
Yeah, and like when you guys like came into comedy, like what started that? Because I heard your music background.
Yeah, full tilt. Since I was a teenager.
You play what do you play?
Say what?
What instruments do you play?
Oh, just keyboards and drum machines and stuff like that. But so I was full tilt. Keyboards.
That's still
virtual instruments on the computer. But
he's a brilliant composer who's been playing keyboards around the world as a career.
Yeah. I mean, the short story is
No, give me the long story. No, short story.
We don't have time for that. That's that'll be a memoir in 20 years. But anyways,
you gonna write a book?
Maybe. I don't know.
That'd be dope, man. Especially like because I'm fascinated. I love like the story of someone's backstory of like, because I know where you're at now, and you're awesome. You're a great. I love talking and hanging out with you guys all the time. When I do see you guys, I'm always so excited to see you because at the festivals and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, they're here, and but like the whole thing of like world traveling and like just like the backstory of like that, our little experiences and just like
all those places you rambled off before we did this podcast, I've been to.
Yeah.
Through traveling, and I played keyboards, all my life practically, and started my career here in Vegas, like 15 years ago, playing at the Bellagio 5 nights a week and playing all around with an act, and then that led me to tour with Casey and the Sunshine Band. So I did that for 6 years or so, and that's when I really did my world travels, and then backed into composing for music for film and television, and reopened up a studio, and really just backed into film production, and that's what led us to produce these comedy specials and all these tapings that we do and the comedy.
Yeah,
that's the short
because you guys you guys started like Laugh After Dark in your apartment, yeah?
Yeah, we had a loft. I like to call it a loft.
Okay. He said, no disrespect.
It was a loft, in the NoHo Arts District, I guess, right? And so yeah, we had a loft, a 2-story loft, and I had my studio downstairs, and we had this big open space upstairs. And we would have all these random like TV shows, rent the space from us and stuff like that, and ultimately we teamed up with another comedy partner to produce Laugh After Dark and to do some stand up there, upstairs.
Interesting, yeah. And you guys are just generally fans, because like when I talk to you about stand up, you're like you're pretty knowledgeable. You're like on it. You're like because like when we were talking the first time I met you. And I was like, I'm from Sacramento. You're like, we have a ton of Sacramento comedians come out. And
Absolutely.
I was like, yeah.
We did. Yeah. We had a whole van full, it felt like, for our season 2.
Yeah.
We ended up just creating, and we didn't even know at all at that point, people, we were new in the industries, but there was a group of comedians that were from up north, and they traveled
got tapped
down
organically too. Like it was like who was it? It was like Jimmy Earl and Saul, right?
Saul Trujillo.
He was, I think, up there at the time, right?
Yeah, he's Stockton. He's Stockton, Sacramento.
Yeah,
they were neighbors.
Yeah. And anyways, they all just organically, we had kind of like a voting system, like with like our different team members for like how people got picked for the show.
Yeah.
And those were just the people that rose to the top, and ended up being like 4 Sac comedians.
Key Lewis is from up.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna be on next week.
Yeah, so he was another. I mean, again, it was like 5 or 6 comedians that we just picked from up north. So.
He and then there was, I think Diego too, right?
Diego.
Yeah.
There was so many like Northern California comics. DJ Sandu is in the audience.
Yes, that is the funniest full circle.
Yeah,
we didn't even know he was a comedian. I mean, because we were new at that time, and we didn't find that out till like.
Well, till Vegas,
till
right?
Vegas, and we
like
said,
he started showing up to the shows, and he was rooming with Trix at the time. And so we were like, you were in our audience.
Yeah, there's a particular look. You don't forget that.
Yeah,
look.
you don't forget.
And so and he was front rolling some of the episodes. So we remember that.
Yeah.
So,
and what season are you guys on now?
Well, it's not so much seasons anymore.
Okay.
It's more like series and concepts. So we did the first 2 seasons at the Loft, and then our story goes that we were, like a week away from season 3, and we were going to be filming that in Burbank when COVID hit. And so we had to pull the plug on production.
Yeah, that day was March 19th, 2020.
2020,
It's crazy.
Yeah. So then in the meantime, we had actually moved as a family here to Vegas. And so, deep in the pandemic, we started doing the podcast. You were on our podcast at our Loft here. And Big J was on, he was actually on the very first round that we were doing at our Loft. And he was like, hey, you got to come see this space downtown. And the rest was sort of history with us opening the live show on Fremont Street. And that's when we filmed what was supposed to be season 3. It became live in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of its own concept. And now we're doing these really cool ones where we're doing comedy on set, where we partnered with the Vegas Theater Company in the Arts District. And we've been releasing those clips, and we're really excited about that project.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of just filming in these unique designed spaces. So yeah.
And you guys developed a festival after, in between all this.
Yeah.
You guys are like, oh no, we want to be busier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? We want to connect. That's the thing, and we saw an opportunity for that to happen at at a festival, at creating our own festival. So,
Yeah.
We're, again, we were fortunate to be connected with Hillary, and we were really inspired by Big Pine, and we just felt like, wow, this is, a really cool thing that is happening here, and we feel like we could kind of do, our own twist on it and be able to, again, support comedians in some different kinds of ways. And so we called Hillary and got her blessing, and then we started planning. So this is actually going to be our 3rd year this October, which is wild.
October. When are signups start open up?
It's already been. So,
Already been?
Yeah. So we
Early
have
bird.
a new approach this year that we designed. So we have something called the Laugh After Dark Comedy Portal, and so what it is, you see our comic portal rather, and so comics are able to log in, create a login in our system, and put all their information in, and tapes and clips and whatever, bios, and then they submit that way, and they can update their videos at any time. And so we use that, and they pay for the submission through the portal. So we use that to for submissions of the Comedy Fest, but we also use it to create our shows as well.
It's like
because the comic portal's free, so like anyone, any comic can sign up for the comic portal and keep their profile up to date. And that's actually how we do a lot of our casting outside of the festival.
Yeah.
So for example, like this week we're filming at the Vegas Theater Company, and I think almost every comedian was straight from the comic portal. And then in addition, you can then pay to submit for the festival, but it's not required. It's just if you want to be considered for the festival. Other than that, it's free to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome, because it's like, so you created your own database.
Yep.
And that's awesome too, because then it also, like, you do it once, and then, like you said, if you want to update it, you can update it. And comics are lazy, and they're terrible about like getting back or doing sometimes, like, so. To just like, I got to submit for the festival. Well, I don't have to, gather everything up. It's already gathered. All I have to do is just click yes and just, pay. That's great. That's really easy and convenient.
And it's great for us too, because we like to travel. So we get out and, we film other places outside of Vegas a lot too. And so it's great for us because then we can sort by location. So we both know people's like hometown and then where they're actually currently living, and they can keep all of that up to date. So we can, as much as possible, try and know who's in which market.
Yeah. That's so funny that you said it, because I remember like either getting hit up or sometimes like, hey, do you know anybody that's good here in Texas or like in Springfield? Like,
exactly.
let me. I don't know. I don't think they're there in town right now, but I'll check and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great way to sort it by town. So like boom, boom, boom. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then that was another thing too I was gonna ask. So as first time on because this is gonna be the 3rd year, but from first year to 2nd year. Like, what were your guys' like, okay, we're not doing that next year?
I would say it was actually 2nd year to 3rd year is more of that. So
really?
First year, honestly, was like pure magic. Like,
And you were there. You were part of it.
Yeah,
the first year.
Great tape on you.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I love it. Yeah, I won. What was it that I won? Like, it was for the Dirty at 12:30 showcase. The best. It said best dirty comic or something like that.
Dirty After Dark.
Dirty After Dark.
Yeah, because it was a little collab. We did it with Gabe Lopez of Dirty at 12:30.
Yeah.
So he hosted it, and it was our little collab. And so you were the best Dirty After Dark comic.
Yeah, like when you guys sent me the picture, I was like, it sounds nasty. Yeah, but no, yeah, that was great. Like, in that space too is like, I love it because it's not too big, it's not too small, and it's like, it was fun.
And that's where we're doing our current filmings.
Yeah.
Right there. So
and the festival this year as well. So year 1 to year 2, we grew a lot in year 2, and we really tried to like branch out and do some different things. But we kind of learned some lessons there where we realized, hey, like 5 days isn't great because people can't take 5 days out of their life to come. And part of what was so magical about year 1 was people stayed the whole time. It was 3 days, right? And so little things like that. And then we also did more venues last year, and also realized, hey, we want to keep it a little bit tighter because, there's this little like camp kind of vibe when you keep everything really close together and you keep it in a short period of time. Everyone shares the experience, and that was something that we felt like we missed year 2.
Okay.
And that was kind of sad for us because we had such a great year 1.
And it was so spread out, huh?
Yeah. And so this year we're bringing it back. We're keeping it tighter, and it's going to be back to 3 days and a tight experience. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the second one too, though. Because when you guys had the old theaters and stuff like that taken out, because it was all in one place, like you said, it was all. And then we had the little meet and greet thing on the in the little space right there too. That was at the top of the theater, which is like everything was all convenient, nice right there for that one day, I guess. And when I did the presentation, like I had a couple comics, come and they were just like, dude, that was so informative, because I was like, I'm going to tell you everything, like anything that you want to hear or want to know. Like, I'll tell you how much this club pays or how much I got paid for this. I was like, because this is important information. And I was like, so I'm not going to act like, and I'm like, I'm not here to, that was a big thing too. It's like, I'm not here to brag. And I would like, all I'm here is to like, be like, I may be making money, but I'm not making enough. Like, it may be more than you right now, but it's okay, because that's the point, is to like help each other out and share this information, because that's all it was. And then, also too, how to behave a lot too.
Etiquette, right? Etiquette's a big thing, right?
Yeah, it was, because it was, I go a big portion of like the seminar that I do for on your guys' thing and stuff like that. And that was great too, because the theater could have the slides.
Yeah.
And so that totally was cool. And I had Jamal clicking it, and he, but it was like, definitely, sometimes, you can be the funniest person, but if you're a dick, people really don't want to work with you. So therefore, you're not going to get as much. But I mean, if you could be a good person and, then people are going to be like,
That's very important. I mean, I didn't realize that. I mean, that's, again, with my music background, I went to music school, Musician Institute, shout out. And, but we had a class called and I went for recording engineering. So there was a class called studio etiquette. And I'm, when I was young, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, studio etiquette, that sounds like some bullshit. But honestly, what I learned in that class is how to be a good, intern in the studio, and how to, how to act, and that's
look at Joe's bobbing his head over there. He's like, yeah.
I'm audio engineer.
You know what's up, right? How to be a good intern, and how to, shut the fuck up and not give opinions and all that, the whole thing, and then that, going into touring, with the band, we traveled, I think it was like 21 of us and Casey and the Sunshine Band. You have to be able to get along with everybody. You're traveling the world with these people, so you can't be a dick. You got to know how to act and have etiquette, and treat the venue. I mean, I really learned how to act. You know?
I've said before too that I feel like some of the most negative interactions I've ever had with comedians were with some of the funniest comedians. Some of the ones that were OGs, and they kind of sometimes have a chip on their shoulder and feel like they're entitled to more, and they'll give you a hard time about things, And so it is funny how, they always say people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel, And so I think that kind of feeds right into the etiquette piece of approach things humbly, and you might be the best, but just be nice,
Yeah. And that's that when I was talking to you guys when I first met you guys, I gravitated towards you guys and towards that, and I was like, oh yeah, they're hella cool. I was like, yeah, because the talking, and it was so easy to get through. And then like I said, me and you were talking stand up. I was like, and I was telling Rob, I was like, she's into it, like she's all into the stand up science, because that's what I like about it too, like all these little tiny intricate things. Like, I mean, like you guys came in here. And it was already like this, Robert was already like, hey, what are you running in here? What's going on? Like things like that, and how you two were like the lighting. You're like, lighting is everything, and it's like, it is like all these little tiny things go into making a great show that, and like the comedy is definitely important, but there is also like, I try to explain to people too sometimes, because they think you could do stand up anywhere.
Right.
And it's like, it can't be done anywhere. It's like, when tables are circular, it's harder for a comic, like these small little things. Because like people are like, what do you mean when they're circular? It's like, because some people are positioned incorrectly to look at the stage, and it's uncomfortable to stay like that for an hour and a half. And then on top of that too, you can see other people, and subconsciously other people, if they could see somebody else laughing, then subconsciously they know people can see them laughing. So then they don't laugh at certain things. They tend not to.
Very true.
That's why it's all psychological.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's the game we're in. Entertainment is all psychological.
Yeah,
so.
It's all to
the experience you create.
Absolutely.
That's why the Comedy Store is painted all black inside. So because there's nothing, you just have focus on nothing else other than what's on the stage.
Yeah.
And that's how that works. But yeah, it was interesting, man. To do the thing to the one on Live Las Vegas, because you guys had a whole band.
Yeah.
That was another thing. I was like, damn.
That was so fun.
It felt like a TV show. Like it felt like
That's
a
what it
That's what
was.
we wanted to make it.
Yeah.
That's the goal,
That was
right?
the
We wanted you to
vision.
feel that way.
It did. It felt like a
It
TV
was supposed to be
show.
like
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon and the Roots, but it was Charlie Wilson and the Fremont Funk.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And they killed it.
Of course
they're
they
a
killed it. I
badass
mean,
band.
remember I have the musical background.
Yeah.
And the keyboard player, the MD, musical director of the whole thing, we have a history together. We wrote a lot of songs together, and we traveled the world with Casey and the Sunshine Band. He was my boss. He was the MD of KC
Okay.
in the band. So bringing him along, that was just like
Natural.
natural.
It was like, who else would we call?
Oh man.
And then he's gonna call the baddest musicians in town, and we're
Yeah.
gonna fuck it up. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
they were
It's-
hitting the best songs too. I was like, okay. I was like, Earth, Wind, and Fire right now. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, fuck
Well,
this
that was
show.
all Rob.
I
Robert
wanted
is
to curate the
yeah.
80s funk feel. I wanted, some Morris Day. I wanted some Gap Band. We wanted Tina Marie. We wanted so we pulled all those out. Like I said, we talked, we made it it was intentional. Is what I'm trying to say. They didn't just bullshit. The band was just bullshit. And I sat together with Chris and said, hey,
Curated.
this is let's make people feel like this.
Yeah.
And these songs make me feel a certain way, and let's
It
Well,
felt
and then,
loose.
and then he like doubled down on it too, because I don't know if you remember, but beforehand on the big screen we would play music videos, and the music videos also complemented a particular tone that we were setting too. So like from the time people walked in to the time they left, like every single sort of like experiential element was definitely like thought through.
That's so funny that you said, because like when I would be in the back listening to what they're playing next, after it was funny because we'd have conversations back then. I'm like, hold on, wait, what are they playing now? And I was like, because I wanted to hear, because after a while, like I go,
You didn't want to miss it.
I didn't want to miss it. And then I was like, hey, these songs are all like, dude, I feel like I'm in the living room and my parents are getting fucked up and now I got to go out there and entertain them.
Dude, it was the best part. I loved when we would the show would start, right, and the band and everything, and I would go back to the like the little green room or whatever, but I guess it wasn't little, but this huge green room, and nobody be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
When does that ever
All
happen?
the comedians would be out on the floor,
Yeah.
looking at in the back, looking at nobody was in the green room at all.
Kicking it.
Everybody
You
wanted
know?
to participate in the experience. you
Yeah.
know, and that always meant a lot to us, too,
Yeah.
that it was like the hang. Like, there's not many places in Vegas that comics come hang.
Yeah.
And so it always meant a lot to us that comics actually, who weren't performing, would actually just come and say hello and want to be there.
There was just a ton. Yeah, all in the
it was
back.
really
Fun.
fun.
Yeah.
We
It's
loved
fun,
it.
and we always talk about those moments and want to relive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the
He just this week he was pulling up old recordings of the band and like God they were good, like
Yeah.
they're so good.
They were, and it was fun too, because like when I went on when I did it a couple times, I was like fuck, I could probably fuck with the band, because I'll be like, yeah, because I can,
absolutely.
because I would
Oh,
make
yeah.
them laugh. My whole thing was like, I want to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And so I'd make them laugh, and I look over and I was like, hit me, and I bump, and I was like, I
Yeah.
got to do the hit. I always wanted to do
Yeah.
the hit man things, and so yeah, they were cool as fuck. I wanted to start making more requests and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they were, equipped.
Yeah,
to
we
do
kept
it.
them on their toes, and there were some people that did. Like Jay Reed fucked hard with the band.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he really had fun with them. Trix would have a lot of fun with them. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was always. And then Paul Gyrus, when he was on Live in Las Vegas, he did a whole I think we have it clipped like on like somewhere in circulation on
They did a
social
whole
media.
bit. It was
He just went in.
And
He
you guys
just
have a
had
whole
fun.
YouTube page for like the Live in Las Vegas, or is it just all in one?
it's all,
All
in
Laugh
one.
After
All in
Dark.
one.
There's like playlists of different things. but
Okay,
yeah.
and that's on the Laugh After Dark.
Yep,
Yeah, YouTube.
everything Laugh After Dark.
Yeah, and still like even the old podcasts is up there. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, most definitely. And then, I was going to ask too. So, you were still in music while you guys were together, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that when you was,
I've always been in music.
Yeah,
My
I
whole
know.
existence.
I'm
Since I
sorry.
was 6.
well, I was wondering because like how is it with the because he had to take off,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how was that? Like how was that for you? Was like was it really rough?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you kind of get used to
Uh-huh.
under the circumstances. But like, I still have like Facebook posts, like they give you the memories every day,
Uh-huh.
and like there's all kind of memories of like Robert has to leave today. I'm sad, or like
Yeah.
I can't wait till he comes back, So I think that there is like that element of like absence makes the heart grow fonder, type things. But more than anything, you just kind of have to roll with it, and it you kept things interesting.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I also too, I was never gone for that long. I think the longest I ever was gone was like 10 days. You know, Casey,
well, once you're with Casey.
Yeah, with
the worst was when he was playing here in Vegas. He would leave for like a month at a time.
Now that is true.
That sucked a lot.
We would go to Biloxi, Mississippi, and Tunica and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Because I'm getting that right now, like with Amber, it's about like, because I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks,
yeah.
and so she's like, she's like, well, I gotta figure out what to do, and she's like, I'm taking it kind of hard. I'm like, oh well, I mean, this is, we're circus people, like, so it's like, in my brain, I don't really get it, but like I'm starting to get it now that I'm with somebody. I was like kind of wondering, even like to hear you say that too, to give her like little tips, like, because I'm coming back, and like, and then it's like, but I guess, for me and being, and like you said, for you too, being a performer and being on the road and being alone, we're already so used to it. We figured out how to break up the time and I feel like for me, compartmentalize. Yeah. Where like, okay, it's just my performance.
I never got used to it, to be honest.
You never got used to it?
I think it really messed me up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I never so when we first, were together, I was leaving for 3-4 weeks at a time. I would flip my schedule. I was so bored out of my mind. I would go to bed at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 7, 8, in time to get on stage. So my schedule was completely flipped. So we would never really talk as much, and then I would come home and I'd be real messed up, and Casey was a lot better, but I have so much adrenaline when I was on the road that I didn't sleep very much, and so I would come back really like just tired and wasn't really present. Exactly,
I get that.
So it was hard, and it never, for me, it never really let up. I never got used to it because I guess I have a little FOMO. I like to be up. I like to if we're out and traveling, I don't like to sleep very much, and I don't really I just burn the candle on both ends. To be honest with you. So it was rough,
Yeah.
Because that's like same thing too. Like I'll be going to sleep. Like when I go off the road too, like it sucks because like I'll be going, the adrenaline kicks in at 8, 10 o'clock because I'm on stage, and then blah, blah, blah. But then I'll go to sleep at 5:30. She's getting up to go to work, and then I don't see her. I'm like, oh shit. But
I did sleep. I did learn how to sleep really well on planes.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm scared.
Scared. No, I mean, and I don't like flying at all. But that I did find comfort because I hate flying. So that was another thing I would do on purpose is like not sleep so that I know that I have to knock out. When I'm on the plane, I'll just be so exhausted. So I would get some of my best sleep. Those flights from Miami to LA were great, especially when you're upgraded.
Anyone can sleep in first class.
You were gonna say something? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, I just ended up building a lot of relationships. Like I kind of ended up building my own life, So there's like a routine to it. So I had a lot of friendships where, the weekends were, in fact, one of my best friends I made in LA ended up moving out here to Vegas. And so she and I would take the kids out and we go hiking and we do little adventures and stuff like that. And those are all things that he doesn't like to do that much. So, you kind of like, there was like an ebb and flow to it, So
I'll come back and there'd be different people in my house. That's really what she's trying to say.
Sometimes. It's true.
And you guys, I was gonna say, you guys like Vegas like you guys are enjoying it?
I like Vegas. We have a history here, and so because we were here 15 years ago, whatever, when I was playing the Strip, and then we moved back to LA. So it was, it was a sense of, I guess, home when we moved back here.
It's a very comfortable place. It's changed a lot in the last 5 years, as you know.
Yeah.
But especially when we first got here, there's definitely like a sense of like it's a soft place to land in a weird way.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of, at the time rent was cheap, so you get a nice place to live for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of, there's not really a lot of traffic. Even now, there's still not really bad traffic other than like construction zones and stuff like that. Life is just easy here. Like when you come from LA, like the last year that we were in LA, we had 2 cars totaled. And then none of it was our fault. It was just driving down the street like a normal human being and just like, boom, And And like little things you don't realize is how narrow the streets are in LA.
Yeah.
And how narrow the highways are. And there's 1,000 million people probably being equally aggressive as they are here in Vegas. But when it's like this tight together, it's just very stressful. Like I get a lot of anxiety driving in LA at this point in life. So
LA is not an easy place to live when you are hustling.
yeah.
I'll just be real. You know,
Yeah.
it's and we're hustlers, and no matter how much like money you have, really, there's still going to be that stress and that anxiety that you got to get from point A to point B. You got to, you
Well,
know,
parking. I mean,
it's-
parking. Like
Yeah.
coming here and the IKEA, it's like, like,
Yeah.
because that Burbank IKEA is like, there's no time of day that you can go and find parking, and it's just nuts.
I was telling the stepdaughter too, because I was like, yeah, you haven't been to LA in a while. I was like, they park on the grass in the sidewalk, you know, because like the city doesn't own that.
Yeah.
So you can park on. So people were parking on not the sidewalk, but the little grass before you hit the street. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
I go, there's a whole bunch all over the place. And they're like, well, that's kind of smart. And I was like, but it looks
Gross.
terrible. Yeah,
It's
it
gross.
looks terrible.
LA's gross. I mean, I love LA. It will
Mhm.
always have like a place in my heart, but there it is a whole experience being there.
Yeah.
and
It's
it's high low.
it's so
I mean, Vegas can be gross too.
Absolutely.
It's so funny though that like you said too, it's a soft place to land, which I would have never thought like Sin City, like all that would be
Yeah.
like what you call it. Joe, you're born and raised here, huh?
Yeah, I was born and raised here.
Yeah, we got what's it, all natural over here,
Something like
Homegrown,
that.
which is rare now too, because like everyone's from somewhere else. But like,
Yeah.
it's someone had told me when I first got there, like, oh, you can fit all of Las Vegas inside of the lake of Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like oh, so it's not extremely big, but
Right.
like.
It's the biggest small town is how I always think of it. Like
Yeah.
you really can't sneeze here without seeing someone that you know. But it's not tiny either. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a couple million people here, so
I was like doing a joke because like it's rare you could do local jokes here. So like I was at Dirty at 12:30 and I was like, yeah, I just moved here and I was like, it's cool, man. It's big but it's small. I was like you know if your car gets stolen, you'll find it.
yeah.
it's at one of the 5 In-N-Outs that we got here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and also too, I noticed this because like when I first would work here too, like when I would come in, like you know, because I've been working Vegas off and on for the past like 10 years as well, 10, 15 years, and it's completely changed a lot. But I also never left the Strip when I was here, and so I was like, dude, I don't
That's
fucking.
not Vegas.
Yeah. And I used to be like, oh, I don't like Vegas. I hate Vegas. I can't wait to get out once I land. I can't wait to finish the shows
Oh,
and get
yeah.
out. And then when I got here and then I started going off of the Strip and hanging out, I go, oh, dude, this got like a real small town home feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and there's good food and the people are super nice. And I was like, why are they so nice? And then I was like, oh, because everyone's in like entertainment or service. So it's like everyone's kind of like very, very, very cordial and nice. And I was like, I really like it here actually. And
Yeah.
and when I landed here too on the I landed when they it was January 6th when they stormed the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I
Yeah.
remember that
That's easy
day.
to remember.
Yeah. It was hella funny because like we had already had COVID happen, you know, so the world had changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like I land and as soon as I land, you know, I hit up DJ and Trix and those guys like, what are you guys doing? Like, I don't know, man. We don't know what's going to happen. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, they're storming the Capitol right now. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he goes, oh yeah. And then I look at on my thing trying to, you know, search for this Capitol thing. And then like Kanye and Kim divorce and Dr. Dre has a heart attack. I'm like, what world did I
What
fucking land?
happened?
Yeah, I was in the air for an hour and a half. What the fuck, man?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I landed and I started checking things out on off the Strip, I was like, this is a really nice place. And I go,
Yeah.
could I live here? And then found out how much rent was. I was here 2 days later.
Oh, we actually are personally responsible for moving about what was like 6 to 8 sets of people out here
Yeah.
between when we moved and like when things
Yeah.
started kind of going crazy and we started being like it's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
But we moved Chris, the musical director, out here. We moved Charlie Wilson out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
we moved
right.
all kinds of friends and
Charlie's
stuff.
now
It
in
was fun.
Chicago now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He took off to Chicago. I seen him not too long ago too, running around. And that was the thing too. The thing I love about festivals and also too like and how you guys had your festival too. There was like so many good people there, just good, and it was great because I was also telling like the comics too when they were coming to the seminar, and I was like, you know, it doesn't matter if you win any award here. I go, it's the relationships that you build.
Yeah.
I was like, because you're gonna find out, and also too, be nice and don't not introduce yourself. Don't be the person that's just
Yeah.
sitting in the corner, scared or or not. just being too much in your head. I was like, because once you extend that out, like you're gonna meet all these people again on the road, and it's gonna and you'll be like, oh, and so build that comfortability. Because I remember one time I was in Chicago, and I was like, I'm a Sacramento comic, and we got a bad rap from the crop before, and so like the crop that came out after, we really had to bust our ass in order to be good and whatnot. Like Mikey Winfield is part of my crop, and it's like J.R. de Guzman. And Ellis Rodriguez and a couple other cats.
So good, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we all had to like be extra good because the guys before us were like, it was bad. And so I was in Chicago, like pumping myself up because I got on this show that I didn't know. I just asked if I could be on it because I was in town. I was doing Zanies, and so they were like, yeah, you can be on, but I don't know who's on it. And I was like, okay, well then, so I went over there. I was just waiting, and I was just pumping myself up, like, all right, you got to kill it. You got to kill it from the bullet, like you do, like just kill it from the bullet and raise the bar. They let them know you're from Sacramento. Hey, bitch, pump myself up.
Yeah, one of them 8 Mile moments.
Yeah. And then so I do, and all of a sudden Travis Nelson walks in. I was like, what's up, Travis? And I had met Travis years ago in Seattle at the comedy festival at the comedy competition up there, and I was like, what's up, fool? And then the headliner, they go, oh, the headliner's here. And I look, and it's Jessica Michelle Simpson. And I was like, oh, shit, I ran into her. I used to know her from the Slow Festival and NoHo Festival. I was like, hey, what's up? And so I was like, oh, I'm not even nervous or scared or worried anymore because I know all these people. Oh, we're going to have a great show. It's going to be dope.
You staying it long enough, you're running a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're running everybody.
It's a really small world in comedy. Like, it's like a surprisingly small world. I feel like
everything. I think in entertainment in general, I mean, we're all...
Yeah.
like, it's a small world.
And it's so...
If you're in it.
And it's so crazy that you guys just like you guys just started to do comedy, and then and that's a great thing too, because now you guys don't have to be apart so much. Now you guys can do everything together.
Now we do everything together. Just kidding.
For the most part.
She's like, I kind of wish she'd go back to music.
No, it's actually kind of the best, honestly. Like, I feel like we're a pretty good team, and it's fun.
Yeah,
like
we do work independent, though. I mean, we're not in the same room half time. I'm in one, and she's in
we have different
other,
responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know it's just us.
Yeah.
Like what you see is what you're getting. I mean, we have to learn.
After dark.
Yeah, we had to learn it all. I didn't go to school for film or any of that shit. So it's like.
That's why he's so curious about how they run everything, because it's always like you always want to know, like, what is the next way that we can up our game and make things easier. Like,
we're filmmakers now.
Yeah.
And business owners and all of that stuff. So
social media ninjas, webmasters,
entrepreneur to the core. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you guys are just like, fuck it, we're gonna do it, and who cares? And we're gonna figure it out.
Well, because everybody, I mean, something we have in common with comedians and most people in entertainment is everybody wants like the deal. They want somebody to be like, oh, I tap you, you're the next big thing. You
want to be industry plant, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you want something, you have to create it for yourself. Like, and that was what we realized with comedy pretty quickly, is that you have to be willing to do the work, and if you're willing to do the work, you can do pretty amazing things. And that's a lot of what we try and impart to comedians at the festival.
We're not going to sit around and wait for somebody to give us a deal,
because
that's
how many
not
people
going
are
to
waiting
happen
for their Netflix
No.
We're not going to sit here and wait for somebody to save us. I mean, look at us. Woman, black man. I mean, I'm going to say it like what it is. You know what I mean? And these opportunities we have to give to ourselves and control our destinies. And that's where we're at.
And we get to choose the people that we think are funny, and we don't have to report to anyone. We don't have an algorithm determining what we think is funny. We just choose what we think is funny. And I think the proof's in the pudding, because our clips consistently have better results than pretty much everyone else out there. Like, if you look tit for tat, even against Chappelle and against Comedy Central and against Comedy Dynamics, like everyone that everybody clamors to and wants them to produce their stuff and wants that credit, our shit does better.
Yeah.
Well,
my clip went
that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
and it's like we're not, we're not using. See, a lot of these organizations. And this is the real part of the show, I guess. But but a lot of these organizations will just use the comics following. Oh, you got 500,000 followers. You got, and that's, and used to build, the empire. And I think Laugh After Dark
The harvest.
is ass backwards on that. You know what I mean? We're picking clips like Chris Bennett, for sake. You know what I mean? He's the one that I just thought was just funny
He
when we
just
went
stood out to us.
Phoenix. And we're like, let's bring him out. Let's shoot some shit and do it. And I think he had like 800 followers on Instagram.
And how many views did he get on his clip?
Almost 600,000 and counting. So it's like, so we're not, the clips are just it's organic. We don't pay for shit.
Yeah,
we ain't got no
Yeah.
money to pay for shit.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
We let the comedy speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly. We let the work and the comedy and the funny speak, and that's
our way.
That's our destiny.
you know?
We're not trying to get the who's popping right now. Let's get them on the channel and try to boost our followers with that.
Yeah.
No, it's really
We
just
do what
like
we
what
want.
do we think is funny is kind of our litmus for everything. And sometimes it's also like what do we think is different? What is unique? There's times too where I've had, producers even here in Vegas be like, well, I wouldn't have put that person up at all. And I'm like, well, their clip just did, really well as a result. You know what I mean? It's like, are they not every comic, but something Robert always says that I think is really true is there's a stage for every comedian, right? There's a stage for everybody. And so the reality is not everyone is destined to be the next Bill Burr or Chappelle or whatever, but that doesn't mean that they don't have something to give. And that doesn't mean that there isn't something special about them that we can find and we can pull out.
Yeah.
I learned that my approach is just musically, what I learned in the music industry. And it comes from that. I learned that there is a song can be used because I did a lot of sync for music and television and stuff like that. And so a song could be used anywhere really. Like there's always a placement for a song, even a shit song.
Yeah.
There is a placement for it.
TikTok has shown us that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I apply that to the same thing as comedy, right? Like there's going to be somebody that resonates to that comedy, even though that other person doesn't like that comedy.
Yeah.
Because I'll turn in a song going back to music is like, because I wrote a lot. I mean, I wrote thousands of songs and have thousands of placements on television. And there's songs that, a library or a music supervisor don't take, right? And I think, oh, that's, I thought that song was good, but I guess it's not. I would give it to another supervisor or music library.
They place it 20 times over.
Yeah, exactly. Become one of my best best earners ever. So that's just how it goes.
It's so funny because he's the producer or the engineer. He's into music too. He's a music engineer, and I can see him bobbing his head hecka much over there. Like,
I'm soaking up the game right now. I'm soaking up the game.
And it's true. Like, and we hear it all day, right? You hear that you turn on the radio like, oh, that's a shit song, but somehow the rest of the world loves it, and there's a place for that shit song.
Well, look at Taylor Swift. I mean, she'll be the first to say that she's not the strongest singer. When she first came out, we all were kind of like, what is this girl, right? But she's a beautiful songwriter. She's a brilliant songwriter. And like her songs, her words resonate with people in a way that makes her probably she's, I think, inarguably probably the biggest star in the world right now,
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't have to be the best.
crazy.
Sometimes you have to want it the most.
Yeah.
It applies to the comedy bit. Same thing. Comedy bit's nothing but a song. That's
Yeah. It's so funny that you said about the right song, the right placement. It's like if it's in a movie and in some point in a like it's so funny because like the song, like you said, a shit song will be in a movie, but at a perfect timing, then that's like, hey, that's it's dope. Like now the song, everyone likes it now because someone found
now
the
wins
right
Oscar
spot for it.
best,
Yeah.
song.
Art is inherently something that it's in the eye of the beholder, right? And so I always say that I feel like everything in life, absolutely everything falls on the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Meaning the spectrum of our experience, of our collective experience, meaning wherever you fall, you're hitting someone else's reference point. There's going to be people that are closest to that particular thought or idea that are going to be obsessed with it, and people way over here that are going to hate it.
Yeah.
And no matter what, that's why it's like you can't actually be afraid to like know your truth and speak it, because you're always going to be speaking. Like I come from a branding background, like that's kind of my world. And I always tell my clients that the essence of an effective brand is attract and repel. You want an effective brand should simultaneously be attracting people that it's for to you and repelling everyone else away. You don't want everyone else. There's no such thing as a universal brand. And so it should repel them because those are the haters anyway, right?
Yeah.
Does the internet not teach us that,
Yeah, no
right?
shit.
And some people are professional haters. So it's like you really just have to like be in your own space and your own truth.
So hard too, though. Like that. It's so funny.
Absolutely.
Because it's like how you're talking. It's a simple idea, but it's so hard to do. And it's like because it's like. I know me as a comic, I'm like, I want everyone to like me. I want everyone to, because my job is to make the whole room like me. But then I do have to understand that once you get out of that room, not everyone's going to like me, you know, or like someone in that room doesn't like me or doesn't like my stand up right now. And it's like,
do it for you, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, do it for you.
Yeah.
I have a hard time thinking Chappelle is thinking, will this crowd like my bit that I'm writing?
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I hope it's not like that because it doesn't come off that way when I see the performance. I see it as he's doing this for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has something he wants to talk about, and that's do it for you.
Well, something else that you've said a lot of times too is the idea that what art is art should elicit a reaction. That's the definition of art. And I feel like when you define art in that way, it's pretty profound because it's not about whether or not they like it or agree with it. Did you elicit a reaction from them? Even a strong negative reaction is still something that's making those people think.
Yeah.
Right? And it opens up the door for conversations and things like that, right? Like at the end of the day, like I don't think in humanity we're ever going to come to a point where we all agree on everything. Like, I don't think utopia is possible, to be honest. Like, I think we're all too different, and I think that that's an okay thing. And so that's where that comfortability of, like, finding your voice and doing the things that make you happy, that's where it really counts.
It's funny that you say that about the thinking making me. So when I so I started stand-up at 16, and then I stopped around 20, almost 20. And but it was funny because I read a quote out of a Bartlett's book, and I was like, "That's how I want to write comedy." So I started doing that, and that's why I stopped too, because of that quote, kind of. And it was the quote said, "If you make people think, they will love you. But if you make people think that if you make people think, they will hate you. But if you make people think that they are thinking, they will love you."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like that. And because it's like most of the time when you're like, if you make some people think like, I don't want to think about all that right now. I'm just trying to, But if you like kind of spark the idea for them to continue on and, because like some of the best movies I've seen were movies that I thought about 3 days later. Like Interstellar, I remember like thinking about the concept of time. I was like, that's a trip, man.
Yeah.
And I was just and I was like, that's a really good movie. It's making me want to think more about this or go in deeper.
Yeah.
And I love when I do like a joke or I have something written or, and people tell me, I never thought of it like that. But now that you said that, that's hella funny now that I think about it. And
That's why comedy matters.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I mean, as sappy as it sounds, like, honestly, like, I think that's where my passion for comedy has come into play. Like, that's where I found, like, a love of comedy, because I feel like what we're doing is sacred because we're holding space for people to be able to speak their minds. And, like, and ideally, I feel like if you can make, like you said, people think, then it's even more powerful. But if you just make them laugh, that's enough too.
Yeah.
And so it's just like we have to protect a space. And like that's, I think, what makes us really good at what we do, because we're not trying to be comedians. We're really just trying to create a space where comics can just do their thing.
Yeah. And that's what I love about it too, because like you said too, like I like in during the set or like when I write, I'm like, I want to have a whole bunch of fun. But then I do want to hit this other level too, where it's like, where the writing comes in. Because like also too, like I'm like, for me in my head, like every set is golf. I'm battling my last set. I'm trying to be better than my last set. So I try not to like I don't have an order of how my set goes. I just know that I'm going to go and I'm going to do, there's probably 3 things that I'm going to do. But the rest I don't know where I'm going. And I don't even know where those 3 things are going to be put at.
Okay.
So then I'll just go off, and then because it also gives me a lot of like leeway to kind of, like you said, be me and kind of just. And then on top of that too,
we'll ride the energy a little bit.
You gotta fill the room, right?
Yeah.
Like,
ride the
you gotta
energy,
know where you're at.
gears,
Yeah.
And then like some of the jokes too that I wrote, like I always talk about the degree of difficulty to get to it. Like everyone, like it could be a dick joke, but the difficulty to get to it, they're like, damn, I didn't even see that coming. That's hella funny. I mean, even it is still a dick joke, but like
You know who does that really well is Byron Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
His closer's a dick joke, and it's hilarious because it's not just a single callback; it's a double callback.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to have Byron on. That's so funny because he's like, oh, what's up, man? What's up, everybody?
That's good. That's a good impression right there.
Oh, he's so funny. And he's actually what you call it? He was up there in Sacramento for a while. Like, he used to radio program like Mikey Winfield and Willie Barcena and all those guys. Like he was a radio programmer. Then he took off and went down to Nashville and started becoming a record producer. And you know, I love
a radio guy. He did radio in Nashville.
Oh, radio in Nashville. Okay, yeah.
With the record labels, you know.
Yeah. So and then Nashville. Oh man, have you been out there?
Of course, we shot a special out there.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys went out there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was my first time.
The old Opry, huh? Yeah. That shit is great. Nashville is nuts. I only went out there just recently because I had to go do Chattanooga.
Oh yeah, we drove through Chattanooga. I was like, we went over some bridge or something. I don't know. There was some water, but I think
Chattanooga's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just driving through was like,
Danielle owns a comedy club out there. She's awesome. She loves it out here. The Catch. Yeah, I did the Catch over there. It's so fun.
we love Danielle. We spent some time down there, you know, because when schedule permits, I like to hang. And so when we shot a special, we went out there like a week early. We met with some friends in Virginia, and we went to Atlanta. We just hung. I just like to hang. And it dawned on me that we were in Appalachia, and I never really been in that, never really explored or really had knew what was up, but I had so much appreciation. It was so much fun out there.
Well, he had just gone down a major rabbit hole with Appalachia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what is it, Peter Sansanella?
Yeah, he did a whole thing. I watch him on YouTube. So shout out to him, I guess, for inspiration. But yeah, so he did a whole series on Appalachia, and because a lot of the United States doesn't even know what it is or anything, where it is, or they say it wrong or whatever. And so, when we were down there in coal country, and just all the beauty and wonder and the greenery and
so green.
It was, the animals, and I mean going through the hollers and just hanging.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at an elevation map of the U.S., I found this on Facebook the other day. Most of the elevation in the U.S. is on the West Coast. You hit the Rockies and it's just flat, and the Appalachias are the only other major mountain range, and it's on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see different mountains.
Yeah.
And a different culture. And we were just hanging out, being country.
Yeah.
And I loved it, man. I was like, I never would have thought I'd love that experience, but I love it. I can't wait to go
definitely
back.
couldn't live there. There's way too much life in those hills.
Too many spiders.
Oh my God, there's spiders and bugs everywhere.
I don't like that.
The glow bugs were very cool. It was my first time seeing fireflies.
Yeah.
But the spiders,
it's a trip when you first see fireflies.
That's the best thing about Vegas, honestly. If there's one thing, is that nothing fucking lives here. Because we're not even supposed to live
Except
here.
for scorpions.
We're really not supposed to live here. Do you know that we're only an hour away from the hottest place on the planet?
Really?
Yeah. It's the Death Valley. Is literally hotter than the Sahara Desert. Is Death Valley, and we live an hour away from there. So, legitimately, we are not
supposed to be here.
Nothing can live here. We're not supposed to.
That's why they were blowing up, bombs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The trying out the Oppenheimer.
Exactly.
That's why Area 50. No.
Yeah.
You have us in New Mexico.
That's crazy.
There's a bunch of barren desert.
But it's so funny because when I went to Chattanooga and stuff like that, it's really pretty. It's super pretty. And I was like, and then because I had to get a rental car to go back and forth from Nashville to Chattanooga, but it's so beautiful, so nice. And then when I got to Nashville, I was like, dude, it's fucking crack on a Wednesday. I was on a Wednesday, and I remember I had to get an Uber to get out off of Broadway, right? Yeah, and the guy, the Uber driver was like, yeah, man. He goes, if this was Thursday or Friday, any of those days, he goes, you'd have to walk 5 blocks out because I would have never been able to get in this close, And I was like, he's like, it's fucking always crack.
We didn't even make it to Broadway. We were just too busy while we were there.
Yeah, that's quite a drive, huh? That's like an hour and a half or two, right?
It's two to get to Chattanooga.
And that's the closest airport, right?
Yeah. So I had to fly into then the next time I went, I flew into Atlanta and drove it, but it's still the same distance.
Yeah.
But it's like, but then the thing about it is when you go I didn't know this, but you lose an hour. If you come from Nashville to Chattanooga,
They're in different time zones.
they're in different time zones, same
Yeah.
state, different time zone.
That's so obnoxious.
It is
That
terribly.
is.
I was I hit up Daniel because I'm big on time. I'm big on being on time. I don't like I told like in the little seminar thing too. I was like, even if you're the headliner, like I don't care. Like I mean, some headliners do this and some don't. And I was like, I don't hate on them or whatever. Like for me, I was like, be there an hour or a half an hour before the show starts. Even though you're not going to be on for another hour, make sure the comedy owner and the club aren't stressing out about where you're at. You know, because that was another thing too.
I
Like,
agree with that.
yeah, like be
Been
there.
there, done that.
Yeah.
Stressing out.
Like
Are
where
they gonna
at?
show up?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes till showtime. Where the fuck are they at? And it's
Yeah.
like, then they walk in, like, it's all
Like
nonchalant.
no big deal.
Yeah, with their coffee in their hand and whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Tacos.
It's like, yeah, and it's like, it's like parking was crazy. I was like, well, then you should have knew, that. You know parking's gonna be crazy here. So leave another 15 minutes earlier than you were already originally. It's a big thing for me, yeah, because like, especially too, because like that was like the whole point of the thing was I learned all these lessons because of, you know, I tell the younger comics too. I know some people don't like some of the comedy club owners don't like it, but I'm like, well, then produce a show at the comedy club. But start producing shows. Once you
Yeah.
start producing shows, you'll have a bigger respect for people that book you, and you'll or not respect, that's understanding. You know, because it's like, you know,
I think it is respect.
yeah, pretty much, yeah, because it's like they have to book a comedy club, a comedy show, and you know they have to make money. They have to get return customers. So it's like put on the best show you can. Make sure everyone's on time. Don't go over. Don't put 12 comics on. You know, because you're just gonna wear your audience thin, and it's like,
Exhausting.
yeah, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so just like a lot of things, like you'll start to realize and notice, and you know that will also make you a better comic. And a lot of this stuff, like everything I was trying to do or trying to, you know, push in that seminar is to be a better comic and to be a better coworker.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing too. I started telling people, was like, you think you're gonna get in a stand? Like you said, like there's two things. People think that they're gonna get picked up out of the street, like they're at a mall and they're gonna get a modeling career. That doesn't happen. That's like that was 80s shit. That don't happen now. So people think that's what's gonna happen in comedy too. Like I'm gonna get picked and then I'm gonna fucking ride this wave. It's like they want you to already have your shit already developed, so then they can just take you off the road. And then
Absolutely, they can capitalize. You know,
off your hard work already.
They don't have to pay as much in marketing. For your ass. It's essentially what it
That's
is.
what it boils down
You
to.
have to have your own marketing through your own following and stuff like that, so that when you do your post or whatever, it goes out to the ether. Those companies don't want to.
They don't want to put any more money into what they don't have to, because they're trying to get the biggest return they possibly can. And that was another thing too. Also, like how you're saying, like 800 follower kid, and then you still fucking hug them out. And that's what I love about you guys. And that's what I love about like Jenny's club and like, you know, Daniel's club. And it's like, and even and the Stratosphere too, like Matt and those guys, like, you know, all these guys to me, like when it happens, like, you know, all this stuff that I'm trying to do too, you guys get the family discount. Like if all of a sudden there's you know, world tours happening, it's like, yeah, but I got to go do Laugh After Dark, you know, for me, like for free, because I want to help them keep their doors open for another fucking 7 or 8 months. And they don't have to worry, and therefore they can help out more people and more, because one hand washes the other, I feel. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I'm looking for no discount. I want everybody to get paid. Let's get paid, man.
Well, no, I mean,
I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean.
You mean you're not going to
But-
just be too
but
good
yeah.
for everyone,
Yeah.
and you're still going to remember where you came from.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's how that's how I was raised, and that's where I'm from. Like
Yeah.
even to
Absolutely.
this day, it's like, yo, I'm gonna take care of the people that took care of me. You know, that took a chance on me that didn't have to. Because I've seen a lot of people just, you know, not come back to their home comedy club.
Right.
And it's like, well, I can't do it no more. And it's like, why not? It's like, oh, because it doesn't hold enough
'Cause
people.
I only play
I
theaters.
don't play theaters,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
like that's great, but that's only one night. That's only like one weekend in that city. You can go do theaters all over the country, all over the world. You can't take care of someone that took care of you. I don't like that shit. I'm not with that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by that too. But there was another thing too I was gonna say too about I went ADD on it.
No, that's all good though. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and then what was it too about the thing I was just about to say? Oh, coworkers, that's what it was. They think, like, I also have to, like, I always try to tell comics or younger comics or people, like, yo, I know you want to come into comedy because it's like a big, you perceive it as a big party. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's kicking it. And yeah, but it's not like how it was in the 80s where people doing blow, all this shit. I was like, it's a job. Like, you have to be on time. Like, you know, I first got into it because I was like, I don't want to have a job. I want to be my own boss. But then after a while, it was like, okay, I am my own boss, but I have to act like
to
a
be
boss.
a good boss.
Yeah.
You
Otherwise,
got to
I'm not
work
gonna get
8
work.
times harder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect. I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit. And then on top of that too, coming into the stand up at the time I did when I came back at 28, it was a whole new world. Like I had come from, you know, 96 to 2001, I want to say. You know, you're sending VHS tapes out as audition tapes or like, you know, for booking. And then when I came back, it's like, oh, what's an EPK? You know, like, oh shit, like, I don't even have to go out. And so it's like, it was a whole different world. And so you have to even put in more work and be more entrepreneur, like we said too.
And now more than ever, even now, I mean, look what just happened to JFL. Like, I feel like the route for a comedian in many types of entertainment, but like there isn't such a clear-cut path anymore. Like you have to be more entrepreneurial now than ever.
You know what? We're in an indie world right now.
Yeah.
This is indie. We back in I don't know, the 70s with music. You know, like how music was very indie. All those like those disco labels and things like that.
Yeah.
In the early 90s with, you know, No Limit.
Yeah.
You know, and all the indies that came, you know, Ruthless Records, all of that's where comedy is right now. We're in an indie world where you can self-do your
all the production.
all your production,
All of it.
put it up on YouTube, catch a couple million views, and you don't need the big majors to
I don't think there's a
fund
route
anything, you
for
know.
comics the way that there was. You know what I mean? I really don't believe that right now. I think that it's literally about you have to love it.
Yeah.
Like if you're just looking for a big break, this is not the business to be in. If you want to be doing this for the rest of your life, this is a great business to be in because you can do that. But I mean, the only way to become, you know, of that top level, you have to realize everyone at the top of the game right now is old school. They're from a different generation, a different class. And the only way to even kind of have a hope of doing that is to cross over and to be being a writer, being a creator, being an actor, things like that is the only shot. Otherwise, you're going to be a comedian. And that's a noble, good thing to be, but it's not, you're probably never going to be Chappelle. Like, that's just the reality. You might be quality, you know, like that same level of quality, but the route isn't there anymore. Even now, the biggest thing I think most comics think that they can get at this point is their Netflix special, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that what is Netflix really doing for you? They're trying to capitalize, like you said earlier, on you, right? They're not pouring into you. If anything, they're owning your material.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't hit the way you want it to, because think about how ephemeral comedy is in general, but especially Netflix, right?
Yeah.
We get bored fast. Look at some of the biggest shows that in history have been on Netflix, and they're just come and gone, and we're on to the next, right?
Yep.
So it's not likely that even getting your Netflix special is going to propel your career
Gonna
and
break
the
you.
way it's going to break you.
You already have to be broke.
Yeah, there's no late night anymore. People do
broken,
late night
yeah.
sets all the time, and what are they doing? They're promoting their YouTube special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to be like, I am a comedian, and this is my life, and this is why I'm going to keep working at it anymore. Because again, you know, there is no big break. I really don't think there is.
No, it's just constantly working. Because that's what you were talking about that you earlier. And I was going to come back to. I totally forgot about that ADD of that. But like you said, like when you're a hustler, that's what you do. You hustle, and then it's even though when you do have and you're taking care of, you got that job or you got that thing. There's what's the next thing? I got to hustle.
You're a creator.
Yeah,
you know.
And it's so funny because like I thought at one point I'm like, hey, there's a vacation at one point, isn't there? And there's like, no, there's not a vacation. Like it's keep
you gotta
on
take
to the next.
vacations.
On to
got
the
Make sure you take time off.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Because you'll burn the fuck out.
Yeah.
Do that. That's why. I mean, that's why I do it so that I can do these. So I can go and spend weeks in Appalachia. like literally, that's why. Because that's how I'm on and off. So I work really hard for months, and then I like take a month off, or kind of do my own thing for a little bit, and then come back.
Yeah.
I don't, because that'll burn you out. It'll bring you out, and that's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And especially in the creative world.
Yeah, because you do have to take a step back from the painting to appreciate the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the things that I like. Well, my little breaks right now are just being with the fiance. Like we just doing absolutely nothing. I love going to the movie theaters. I like going to the movies because then I don't have to. You're supposed to turn your phone off in the movie theater. That's the polite thing. So it's like the world can't bother me right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to entertain anybody. I'm being entertained.
Yeah.
It's nice and
I did
quiet.
a lot of that. We did a lot of that when we lived in Los Angeles.
We
We
had a
probably
pass.
we had the pass. We would go 3 to 5 times a week, watch every single movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would do a lot of Universal Studios.
Because we
Lots.
lived really close. We were in North Hollywood, so it was literally 3 minutes, 5 minutes from us.
Okay.
Twice a week, Universal, and then when we did the pass, I think we did
The AMC pass.
Well, we did not that. I'm talking about Disney pass. We
So you
went
guys are big
probably
movie buffs.
20 times like in a
We're
year.
entertainment people.
I like
Okay.
entertainment.
Like, we love Disneyland. We love Universal. We love going to the movies. Like,
I like to be where the magic's at. And it seems to be Disneyland is where the magic is at. And Universal is where the magic is at too.
Yeah.
Right in the tram and say, oh, that's where the magic is happening. They're filming that show, this show, whatever. The magic is there. And I like to be in that where the magic's at. Remember FOMO?
Yeah, the FOMO thing. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I want to be in it.
and it's like, and I think it's like kind of like about the idea of like when you understand that there isn't like going to be this moment of arrival, that like really this is just the life. That's when it's like you can create the lifestyle of your dreams, because I think that for example, like we love to cruise and we go on vacations and things like that, and it's just really all about saying like, so I heard this quote once from a TED Talk, and it's the idea that a lot of us keep happiness at the edge of our cognitive ability to attain it. And so it's like, if we can actually pull that happiness into here and now, so it's not about, oh, well, when I accomplish this or when I get this
Yeah.
big deal, then I'll be happy, because you won't be happy.
No.
You have to be able to pull that, find your peace in the moment and be able to build a whole life that makes you happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it right now. Like I was saying too, like with the fiance, like the littlest things made me happy too. Hanging out with her, like watching. We found Dateline on YouTube, and it's 24/7. It's a 24/7 Dateline thing, and that's all we've been on, because they're all about crime TV and stuff like that, and just like the little things. And I'm rebuying all of my DVDs right now, because I don't like the streaming services, because they can pull them if you want, if they want, And there's some movies you can't find anymore. Like I found out that Dogma, you can't find Dogma, the Kevin Smith flick, because Disney bought up Miramax and the other thing, and so they're like, that's not our part of our brand. So actually, there's a whole bunch of lists of movies that they don't make anymore,
they killed.
and they don't
Shelved
stream.
them.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy my DVDs back, so they can't take away my hard copy, and they can't alter it as well. That's another thing too, because I know Kanye will go up and alter his album. That's another thing too. I have all my music in a hard drive, because I want the original, the way it came out, the way I bought it, and whatnot. But things like that, and like you said too, like the whole big break thing. It's so funny, because you're right. It doesn't. It's not, especially nowadays. It's this very work ethic, and the thing about the branding too, about repel and retract, or attract and repel. You just got to find your audience now, and and just be happy with that, and because that was the thing too. I was talking about how I'm very happy, to be honest, like where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I know some people are gonna be like, because I know family, and sometimes they'll be like, oh, so how's that thing going with the comedy? We don't, you're not on a TV. I don't see you on a movie. And it's like, yeah, but like, I'm taken care of. Like I'm okay. I don't have to go to a day job where, I have to see Peter's stupid ass every day. And I think I'm winning on that point. So that's like in those aspects too. And then also too, getting to work with people like you, and then being invited to be part of the festival, and
Dude, our world is so big.
Yeah.
When you zoom out, it's like our network, and as being entertainers, we can damn near drop anywhere in the world and know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what we literally did at South by. Like we were like, hey, we're gonna be here. Who's there? We got 30 people who responded to our thing, and they're like, I'm gonna be there. I'd love to see you. And it's like, we didn't know most of them. And it's just like, that's pretty cool. You know?
I see you guys drop it too, and I was like, I looked at the dates, I was like, oh fuck, I'm busy. I was like, shit, I'd just went just to go hang out and just go check it out and shit like that. And
exactly. We just wanted to hang. Like we like people.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on too, by the way. I know that you guys are busy. Sounds busy, but yeah, thanks so much. So I guess what are you guys going to be putting out next, or anything that they should be looking out for, or anything like that, or anything?
Check out our YouTube channel. We're dropping a bunch of clips and a bunch of sets.
Yeah.
And bits.
Stoner Robson, I see, went to 600 views too right now, right?
Three, four. Oh, well, it's on its way to 400,000.
400,000, 4K, yeah.
Independent.
Yeah.
No ads.
No nothing.
Organic. Just putting it out there, putting out the funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a people loved it, and I
We're
loved
going
it,
to be
of course.
filming another special with him,
Yeah.
and also Mary Upchurch. We're filming her special
Love
in May.
Mary. Gonna have Mary on. I hit her up too to come on.
Good. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
so fun. She's such a great comic. And then we're doing all this comedy on set. So really just keep an eye, on our Instagram and on our YouTube. And we've got a lot more comedy coming your way.
Right on.
I will do a little shout out. We did Kool-Aid not too long ago. In March.
Okay.
Yeah, he filmed at
This
last
month?
year's festival.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
what's up. I love
Yeah.
Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's cool. So,
Yeah.
It's funny, it's a 50-minute special, and check it out on all the platforms.
All the platforms.
Amazon.
Oh, it's on Amazon.
Oh yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Tubi, and all it's everywhere.
But watch it on
Everywhere.
YouTube.
Yeah. Watch it on YouTube. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.